This is the story of belief, miracles, and why you should never give up on things you want the most. Today's story is called You'll Need a Miracle.
Welcome to the very first holiday season of The Story. Season 5 features 8 stories of trailblazers paired with the beginnings of some of the most famous winter holidays ever. Season 5 of The Story is brought to you exclusively by Salesforce, the world's #1 customer relationship management platform. More than 150,000 businesses are using Salesforce to blaze their own trails to success. The story is created by our team at Mission.org, a media company and podcast network.
There once was a king who thought of himself as divinely ordained. There was nothing that could end his rule. Nothing, except for maybe a miracle. Miracles can come in many forms, and soon, one happened in the kingdom. A young woman simply received a message. She thought she was destined for normalcy. There was nothing special about her, nothing that separated her from the other women in the village. But that changed when she received this message from a stranger. On a cold winter's night, she met a stranger outside. The person's face was hidden, and he told her that she would have a child. She began to ask who he was, but before she could get answers, the man had disappeared. Thinking her mind was playing tricks on her, she returned home and went to sleep. Soon after that, the king received a similar message, only this message terrified him. There would be a boy born who would be the miracle that would end his rule. At first, the king, like the young woman, thought his mind was playing tricks on him. But those who are tyrants are secretly insecure, and this king's weak mind soon turned to paranoia. He sent his soldiers out with insane orders: kill every newborn boy they could find. At the same time, the woman and her husband left their town. The timing was serendipitous, and the young woman had discovered she was pregnant. They would go on to escape the insane king. The young, poor, and unassuming couple would go on to raise a son that would change the world. This, of course, is the story of Mary, Joseph, their son Jesus, and the wicked King Herod. It's told all over the world, and in one unassuming family in Indiana, a boy would wait intently every year for this story. The complicated and mysterious legend is viewed as myth by many and gospel by others. It symbolizes the start of the Christmas season, and the young boy knew what that meant: a time where miracles could come true. In the minds of young children and unassuming parents, the greatest miracles they can think of are getting what they want for Christmas. In rare cases, some of them think of miracles as something that happens when they give to others. Maybe that's okay, or maybe it's a sign we've lost our way. But for this small family in Indiana, one thing was for certain. The young boy expected a Christmas miracle of getting exactly what he wanted, and he knew who he had to talk to in order to get it. Most of the other kids his age wanted a red fire truck. Nothing was more shameful, he thought with disgust. He had higher, more noble ambitions. His heart was set on another toy. But in the eyes of his mother, it wasn't a toy he wanted, it was a dangerous weapon. The boy pleaded for it, but to no avail. His mother told him he would shoot his eye out with it. His father was too preoccupied with grown-up obsessions to consider the boy's request. But the young boy would not give up. He wrote an essay about the toy he wanted. He poured his heart and soul into the paper, believing that if he eloquently made his case, his parents would have no choice but to give him what he wanted. And although he believed his paper was a true work of art, he received a C+ on it from his teacher. The young boy's heart sank. He was running out of options. His parents and the adults weren't rational. So, the boy decided he would turn away from rationality to get what he wanted. Begrudgingly, but with faint bursts of belief, he turned to his local mall. The boy thought that maybe the Santa there could actually help him. When his family finally made it to the mall, the boy stared in amazement at the jolly Santa. His beard was as white as snow, and he was sitting in a chair decorated with silver and gold. The boy was so awestruck that words escaped him. He joined the line of other excited children, waiting to relay their own Christmas wishes to this gift-giving marvel. A boy in front of him sat on the jolly man's lap, took one look at this bearded wish-granter, and started to scream. The little boy's cries became louder and louder. Santa's little helper removed the boy off the jolly man's lap and sent him down the spiraling slide of joy into a pile of white cotton and thread. Finally, it was the boy's turn to make his case to Santa. He was petrified, but got ready to make his request. "Come on, kid, it's time to meet Santa," said the store elf. The elf dragged the awestruck boy up the steps toward the store Santa. "What's your name, little boy?" Santa asked. The young boy froze. "Hey, kid, hurry up, the store is closing," the elf yelled. Again, the boy did not respond. "Listen, boy, we got a lot of people waiting here, so get going," another elf yelled from halfway down the staircase. "What do you want for Christmas, little boy?" Santa asked again. The boy's mind had gone blank. "How about a nice football?" asked Santa. A football? The boy thought, horrified. No, that wasn't what he wanted. Before he could make his request, Santa handed him off to the elf, who pushed him down the slide. On the way down, the boy found his nerve. If he really wanted a miracle to happen, he would have to create it. He couldn't depend on his mom or his dad. Only Santa could do it. He pushed his feet out into the slide and grabbed the rails. Turning, he clawed his way back up. His little, bespectacled face appeared over the top, and now he had Santa's full attention. Like the decree from Caesar Augustus, the boy made his proclamation. I want an official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle, he yelled. Santa paused, then spoke. "You'll shoot your eye out, kid." Horrified, Santa raised his boot and used it to push the boy back down the slide. The young boy never felt so dejected. He remembered the story he loved so much. Miracles were possible, weren't they? With a heavy heart, he returned home. His parents had failed him, his teacher had failed him, and even Santa had failed him. Christmas morning came. Presents surrounded the tree, and the young boy wasn't interested in them. Suddenly, his eyes fell upon an oddly shaped box. Could it be? He thought. The boy opened the gift, tossing the wrapping paper to the sides. The palms of his hands shook. He pulled the gift out of the box, and there it was, an official Red Ryder carbine action 200-shot range model air rifle with a compass in the stock. The little boy, of course, is the lovable, spectacled, chubby, blonde-haired kid named Ralphie Parker. A Christmas Story is one of the most iconic holiday movies of all time. Among the laughs, the movie comes with a strong message. No matter what the odds, miracles are still possible. We all have our own version of the Red Ryder BB gun, which people told us we could never have. They will tell us that we are foolish, crazy, and that we will shoot our eyes out. The world says that we're irrational, but the oldest Christmas story ever told reminds us that irrationality can look a lot like faith, and that sometimes, if we hold out faith long enough, miracles happen. That's his story. What's yours going to be?
Thanks for listening to The Story. If you love this and want more, tap subscribe to make sure you don't ever miss an episode. Thanks again to Salesforce for sponsoring this season of The Story. The Story is created by The Mission, your #1 source for accelerated learning. We send out a daily newsletter, operate a network of podcasts and shows, and our brand studio creates sponsorships that drive results for world-class companies like Salesforce. Subscribe and learn more at mission.org.